Today it's the New Year's Day, and we have Sri Lankan companion today, which is good for the first New Year. First day of the New Year, your families, your family members come to a temple for blessings from the Buddha. That is extremely blissful. But you don't just come to the temple for blessings. You don't just believe in the Buddha and say your prayers just for the blessings for yourself. Getting blessings from Buddha is, of course, a very good deed, blessings to you. But the most important, you have to think about, if you're always asking from the Buddha, you're asking for fame, for reputation, for money, for good health, for promotion, if you're always asking for more and more and more, are you not being greedy? If you're always asking for more. So why don't you reflect within? You come for blessing, but whatever you do, if you have a blissful mind, the blessing will come. If you have blissful behavior, the blessing will come. If you have blissful speech, blessing will come. How do you cultivate blissful behavior? How do you cultivate blissful speech? How do you cultivate blissful mind? That's the most important. Not just coming for more. If Buddhist community is listening to you all the time, you said, Buddha, give me this, give me that, the Buddha would think that you may be too greedy all the time. So how do you become more blissful in yourself, within yourself? So how can you become more blissful in your behavior? Well, just to summarize it, of course we can talk in details. Just to summarize it, how can we be more blissful in our behavior so that we can get blessings from Buddha? The Buddha said, if you're blissful in your behavior, you will automatically get the blessing. How can you be more blissful? If you stay away from stealing, if you stay away from killing, if you stay away from sexual misconduct, just to summarize it, of course, there's so many things you will have to stay away from. So, in other words, to purify your behavior. You're not being greedy all the time. So you watch your behavior all the time. These are just the summary of it. In whatever you do, if you're always angry, if you're always ignorant, if you're always shouting, if you always get mad, that's not blissful behavior. You have to be more tolerant. You have to be more kind, more compassionate. Not just compassionate to your family members, you're compassionate to your classmates, you're compassionate to all the other companions. So you have to cultivate blissful behavior in order to get blessings. How do you cultivate blissful speech? You don't lie. You don't use flattery language. You tell the truth. You don't curse people. You don't scold at people. You don't yell at each other. You're more tolerant of people's yelling. When people yell at you, you just retreat. You can tolerate people yelling at you. It's the hero who can tolerate. It's the coward who cannot. The coward can just fight. He just fight and yell back. But the hero, they are more clever. They step back. They don't create problems. So, blissful speech. So how do you cultivate blissful thinking? You purify your thoughts. Every thought is a thought of compassion. Every thought is a thought of kindness, of cooperation, of integration, of harmony. If every thought is a thought of harmony in the family, There'll be no fight in the family. If every thought is a thought of harmony in the company would do good and make profit. If every thought in the society is pure, the society will be a pure paradise to live in. So when you come to the temple for blessings, remember, you cultivate your own blissful behavior, blissful speech, blissful thought first. Then the blessings will come from Buddha. Now that's just an introduction. I have questions to answer. I got 4 questions in my hands. The first question is, after you take something, some food, and you don't want it, can you give it to the person who's next to you? Why not? As long as he accepts it. If he said no, then you cannot. Because who knows? You could be, when you are eating, you could be mixing it up with your eating food. Nobody wants to eat left behind. So make sure that before you eat it, you pass it to the next person, and make sure that that next person accepts what you're doing. If the next person is a stranger, he would say, please don't do that. So if your sister, probably will be okay. But why don't you reject it first? Why don't you pass in the first place? So you can't make the right decision immediately on the right spot. You have to learn that. You have to learn to make fast decision. The right decision, a fast decision. That you have to learn from meditation. That you have to learn from a very skillful mind. You need meditation to train up your mind. So yes, you can pass it to the next person. Next question. What is the Buddhist definition of being free from sexual misconduct? What is the definition of sexual misconduct? To an upasika or upasaka, to a layman or laywoman, if the relationship is between husband and wife, legally, but in these days, cohabitation after 7 years becomes legal. So I would consider that as legal, if the government said so. So a relationship between a husband and wife is not sexual misconduct. But a relationship apart from, in addition to husband and wife, if you have a relationship with your girlfriend, you're a married person, a girlfriend, a third party, that's sexual misconduct. If you go for prostitution, that's surely sexual misconduct. So it's only between wedded husband and wife. That's not sexual misconduct. If you do anything apart from that, that's sexual misconduct. To the lay woman, to the lay men, to lay persons. Of course, to the monks and nuns, not whatsoever. No sexual conduct, not to say misconduct. Because monks and nuns should lead a celibate life. Bhikshus and bhikshunis should lead a celibate life. No relationship whatsoever. They can't even think of it. No polluted thought. They can't even think about it. Not to say behaving in such a way. How do you do that? You have to learn meditation. You have to learn meditation, how to contemplate on impurity of the body, impurity of the mind. The 4 contemplations. That's why we're learning it all the time. Bhikshus and bhikshunis have to meditate all the time in order to stay away from that kind of thought. So being free from sexual misconduct, you know the definition. So if you are committing anything that is not a relationship between a wedded husband and wife, you watched it. You've committed sexual misconduct. And you can say, oh, nobody knows about it. I'm not going to tell my wife. I'm not going to tell my husband. Okay, I've just gone to a place that I shouldn't gone to, and I committed this sexual misconduct. But I'm not telling anybody. That would be okay, I guess. The Buddha would not know about it. You think nobody knows about it? You know about it inside of you. You've done something that you think that nobody knows about. You yourself is the first person to know about it. There's another second person who knows about it, your partner, your illegal partner, who did that with you. And more than that, there are guardian angels around. They're not Buddha, they're just a different kind of existence. Some people call them guardian angels, some people call them gods. Many gods around. They live in a different existence. And some of them are good gods and some of them are bad gods. They all know because they know what you're doing. And there's one very powerful, I don't know how you call it, we call it causality, that knows what you're doing. And that causality would get you. Because whatever cause you cultivate, there's an effect. That's the reason why when you committed sexual misconduct and contracted disease, you get sick, you may die. That's why when you committed sexual misconduct and somehow later it's been revealed, it leads to a broken family, divorces, it leads to bad relationship with your wife, you have family members, and then you have a broken family, and then you are a single mother, a single father, and then you all the family members broke apart. You already have cultivated that cause of breaking up your family. So you will have the result of a broken family. So many consequences occur after sexual misconduct. And just to add some more to you, as an extra recipe for the Chinese New Year, other than the food, if you are drinking all the time, why did the Buddha said, don't obsess in drinking alcohol? Why? There was a man at the time of the Buddha, and he was half drunk. He likes to drink. He was half drunk. And he followed, there are 5 precepts. The laymen usually have 5 precepts. Abstain from stealing, abstain from killing, abstain from sexual misconduct, abstain from drinking, and what is the other? Lying, abstain from lying. And this man, he already had observed 4 precepts except for the drinking part, because he likes to drink. He didn't follow the drinking precept. So one day he was half drunk and he returned home, and then he wanted to drink more. He had a bottle in his hand, he wanted to drink more, and he said, gee, I got this wine in me. I need something to go with the wine. And then he passes by his neighbor, and then he saw a chicken coming out, roaming around, and he raised his thought. So he stole that chicken, brought it to his house, and slaughtered the chicken for food. Cook it, and then drinking wine with the chicken, with the food, the chicken. He committed stealing. He committed stealing and killing. Because of being drunk, he committed stealing, he stole the chicken. He's committed killing because he killed the chicken. And then suddenly he heard knocks at the door. Did you see my chicken? I've lost my chicken. The neighbor's wife is coming to find her chicken. And the man said, no, I didn't see anything. No, I didn't see anything. I was sleeping. So he lied. He committed lying. He observed the precept of not lying, but he committed the lying. He killed the chicken, he stole the chicken, and he said he didn't. And then he looked at this woman, and in his mind, suddenly he said, gee, I didn't realize that my neighbor's wife is so pretty. So when that woman returned to her house, and there was nobody in the house, the man went over and forced and committed raping. So he committed sexual misconduct. So because of being drunk, he committed killing, he committed stealing, he committed fabrication, and he committed sexual misconduct. So you see the consequence of getting drunk? How many drunken drivers they caught every year? How many people get killed because of drunken driving? What are the consequences of getting drunk? You know that. I don't have to tell you. So, definitions of committing sexual misconduct, finished. Next question. Why do you walk fast during walking meditation? Why do you walk fast during meditation? You can walk slowly because we said if you are a slow walker, you walk on the outer circle. If you are a fast walker, you walk in the inner circle. And for slow walkers, it's good because he'll be mindful on every step. Walking meditation is to train your mind. Because when you're walking, what do? In your daily life, when you're walking, what do? You don't know that you're walking. It's so spontaneous. You won't say, oh, I'm walking now. I'm walking home. And then this is my right foot, this is my left foot. I march 1, 2, 3. You won't do that. You just walk. Because it's so spontaneous to you. You take it for granted until maybe one day you lost your limb. Then you say, oh, I can't walk anymore. So you don't appreciate and value what you've got until you lose it. That applies to everything. Your mom and dad looks after you, they're so kind. Until one day they are not here anymore, then you become grief-stricken. You hate your brothers, but your brother has been helping you, and then one day your brother has gone on holiday for a year, and then you missed him. You don't value and appreciate what you've got. You got two legs, you walk. So when you're walking, you should be mindful. You should appreciate it. You should be appreciative of what you got. So you walk slowly, you're being mindful, I'm walking. You put your mind in the walking when you walk slowly. However, some people walk fast. Why do they walk fast? Because when you walk fast, you tend not to have too much distraction because you are under pressure to walk fast. Then you don't have too many distracting thoughts influencing you. Because how can you walk very fast and at the same time think about many other things? You'll bump into each other. So you'll be more alertous. So there's two kinds of meditation. One is to be slowly mindful of what you're doing. The other is you are under pressure to remove all your distractions and just concentrate in the running. We're walking fast, but actually you should be running. Some people run after meditation, and that's good exercise for you too. So meditation, there's not just one method in meditation. There's so many methods in meditation. There's so many roads that lead to Rome, not just one road. There's so many methods in enlightenment. The Buddha taught many, many methods in the development of the mind, in the enlightenment. Not just one method. There's anapanasati, and that is samatha, or samadhi. There's vipassana. I don't know if you heard about them. Maybe you have. So many ways. So we have fast meditation and walking, and we have slow walking. Last question. In meditation, people say there are hindrances. There are 5 hindrances. What are the 5 hindrances? Oh, that's a good question. 5 hindrances of meditation. When you're meditating, you know that there are 5 hindrances that would stop you from being a good meditator, that would distract you. What are these 5 hindrances? I have to think about the Chinese words before I can answer that. 贪欲嗔恚昏沉掉举疑惑. The 5 hindrances. 贪欲, sensuality. The first hindrance to you when you're meditating in there, actually not just in your meditation, in your daily lives, you are being affected by these hindrances. In your daily life, not just meditation. Sensuality. What is sensuality? Sensuality is greediness. The egoistic greediness. When you look at a handsome guy, you being a woman, your sensuality arises. When you're a man, you look at a beautiful woman, your sensuality arises. Or when you go shopping, you see something that you can't afford, but you like it very much, and you really have that greediness in you that you may have an urge to just get it. Your greediness. Your sensuality, you cannot control your sensuality. That includes many things. But basically, it's your greediness, your egoistic feelings about yourself. That's the first hindrance. In meditation, how does this sensuality occur? In many ways. In many ways, it occurs in many ways. It could occur in an image. It could occur in a thought. Many, many thoughts related to sensuality. Here, I'm not going to say in details that's what it is. We'll have to learn about all of these in the future. The second one is anger. Anger, hostility in you. When you're meditating, because not just meditating, in your daily life, you're being dominated by anger. Somebody criticizes you, you're angry. Some people criticize you for a good reason, you're also angry for no good reason, just criticize you for the sake of criticizing, then you hate him. That's hostility, anger. And that anger can lead to many tragedies. That's the second hindrance, is anger, or the hostility in you. The third, in meditation, hindrance is sloth and torpor. Sloth, for those who don't understand this word, S-L-O-T-H, sloth. Torpor, it's not common English, but it is common English, but it's a little profound. Sloth and torpor, T-O-R-P-O-R, torpor. Sloth is laziness physically. You're just being lazy. You don't have energy. Whenever people tell you to do something, you are being lazy, you don't have energy. You don't want to move. It's very difficult to cooperate with that kind of people. If you are volunteers in the temple, you're very actively working, and there is the next person who is also a volunteer, and he has no energy, he's just work on being pushed. So, do you like to work with those kind of people? 2 weeks ago, we have 16 volunteers at the back packing up all these cushions, and everybody is actively working. There's no sloth and torpor. Imagine if you're working with someone who's so slow, so lack of energy, so dependent on other people to do the work for them. Do you like working with those people? Sloth is laziness physically. Torpor is dullness of the mind. Dullness of the mind is, I don't want to do anything. I just sit there, and I don't want to apply efforts to my meditation. So meditation is just sitting there. So I'm just sitting there, and maybe I just dozed off to a sleep. Take a nap. He dozed off to a sleep. It's fortunate that he didn't fall. And then we woke up 15 minutes later, and sometimes you may say, oh, I'm in concentration. Actually, he was sleeping. He woke up, he didn't know that he's been sleeping for 15 minutes, and he said, oh, Reverend, I am in meditation because I sit quietly. But he was sleeping, he didn't know about it. Some people could sleep for half an hour, erected, not lying down. Occasionally, they could bump their heads. Sloth and torpor. The fourth hindrance is agitation and worry. When you are meditating, you have agitation. Agitation is distractions due to thinking about pleasant things. You're thinking about, oh, after meditation I'm going for a movie. After meditation I'm going to spaghetti house. And I'm going for dinner. Oh, tonight we're going for a party. And we're going to arrange for something nice today. When you're meditating, you have all this scattering thought because of pleasant feelings. I'm going to go with my children and my wife to a restaurant tonight. So, agitation arises from pleasant feelings. Worry also arises from unpleasant feelings. You were thinking about, oh, what did I do in the future? I have a project that I haven't finished. I have this homework that I haven't done. And tomorrow I have to go to school, but I haven't done this, I haven't done that. And an examination is coming up. What do I do? You have all kinds of worries. You're pressurized. On the other hand, you're lazy. You put off things. You worry about it in your meditation. So you have sensuality, you have anger, you have sloth and torpor, you have agitation and worry. What's the last one? Doubt. You're being doubtful. Oh, meditation, does it work? The Buddha's saying, is it true? You don't have confidence. You don't have confidence in what you're doing. You don't think meditation will help you. If you are strong in your confidence, if you know that meditation is training your mind, strengthening your mind, you would be willingly spending half an hour every day for meditation. But you're not. As I said, how many people spend half an hour in meditation every day at home? How many? Maybe 1 in 10,000? How many people spend half an hour in watching television every day? Billions of people. They spend hours on meditation, on television, but they don't even spend 15 minutes on meditation. That's why there's so few saints these days. So not many people become arhats in these days. Because they never get to an enlightenment path.